All right, hi everyone. I'm back. I'm going to continue on with viewer favorites and viewer challenges. We've done these 3 viewer favorites. I've done this 1 viewer challenge. I'm going to move on to Membranart. You'll notice I'm avoiding intermingle. I really just don't feel like drawing it today. And you should never draw anything that you don't feel like drawing. Anyways, Membranart is the one I'm going to do today. 3 people found that to be a challenge. So I'm gonna turn off my light just so you can see this. That causes problems with glare if I don't turn that off. I have done this one before. Let me go back. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Why are you not going back? Come on, little machine. Oh, nope. Too far. Let's try again. This one? Ay, ay, ay. I lost it. Okay. If you want to find a pattern, just go into the search field and type in Membranart and hit go. And then you'll get all the things that are shown on the website that has that word in it. And if it's a pattern, it'll come up as its own thing. Not all of them come up that way. Sometimes they're just mentioned in the news or some other way. And I am annoyed that I closed that because now it doesn't want to go. Lord have mercy. All right, hang on a second. I got to get closer to the door. Oh, nope. It went. Ah, good. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is that Mimi has done one and I have done one. And I can see that I was rather ambitious with the one I did before. So I'm not going to be quite so ambitious this time. I'm just going to be simple. We're going to do it very similar to this step out. So what you want to do, the key to the Membranart is to leave the white spaces on the edges. So if you'll notice here, see how the webbing kind of goes off into white space, and here as well it's connected, but it's connected into like white space. You can really tell, but that's the key to this pattern, is this being connected on the edge to white space. So you want to make sure you're leaving that white space. I'm going to actually draw a little bit of a border to make sure I'm leaving white space. Then what you want to do is do just sort of some U shapes all the way around your shape. If it's directly on the tile, just around the edge, but making sure you don't go up to the edge, making sure you leave that gap so you're leaving some white space. And your U shapes can be all sorts of different sizes, just as long as they're sort of a U-like shape. See how this one's really long like that? This one's kind of short and fat, and it's got a little bit of a bulge on this side. All of those are just fine all the way around. Okay, make sure you're leaving some space in between here and that you're leaving that white space all the way around. The next thing you do is you draw inside this arch, you draw a line, but you make sure, and this is very important, make sure that your line is not here at the ends. This is probably where everybody gets confused. It's not here at the ends, it's in a little bit, and then draw your line. So you have to have this little tail sticking out, which is different from most patterns that we do. Okay? But you want that little tail sticking out. That's how you get that kind of connection thing happening. Then in the middle, you just draw some circular shapes. They don't have to be circles. They can be blobs of whatever shape you want. And then you fill in. And it should look like that. And then you can shade. And it will look something like that. So that is what we're going to do. I've chosen a blue piece of paper. This one's a smallish one. It is, for those who care, because I always get these questions, what size are you drawing on? It's approximately 4 inches square. It's not quite, it's like 4 1/4 this way and 4 inches that way. It's not quite square. That's okay. Doesn't have to be. So what I'm going to do is, pardon me for a bit of congestion. The air quality right at the moment is really bad. We are surrounded by wildfires. If you are in any part of the west coast of the United States right now, as of the date that I'm filming this, which is I don't even know what day it is. It's like, oh, it's 9/11. I should know that. Anyway, I'm filming this on 9/11, and the entire west coast is on fire. And we just got back from the wedding in Oregon, and the entire 750 miles from where we were in Oregon all the way down to my house, we did not see the sky. The blue sky was not there. It was gray and cloudy and sometimes orange and full of smoke the entire way. And you don't really realize grasp the enormity of it until you have driven 750 miles and have not seen the blue sky. It's crazy. And we are all congested. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry if I'm going to be coughing or sneezing or whatever. Just the reality of life. It's the life that we're living. Anyways, I'm going to do a little bit of a border just to remind myself to not go too far, right? We'll erase that anyways. I want my pen. Where's my pen? Why is my pen not near me? There it is. So I'm just going to take my pen. Everybody always is asking me the other question. What pens are you using? I use whatever Fineliner I happen to have next to me. Sometimes I use these, which seem to be Fineliner Graphics. Sometimes I use this one, which is a knockoff of a Micron. Sometimes I use Microns. Sometimes I use, where's the other brand that I have? This brand. Whatever I happen to have on hand is what I use. You know, I've got a bunch of them. What I really am saving for, and you guys are helping me with this, I'm going to use my next YouTube payment. I don't get a lot every month, but I am now getting payments every month, so thank you for that, you guys. I'm going to use the next bunch to buy myself some Copic Fineliners. Not that they are the be-all and end-all of Fineliners, which they may be. I don't know. I've never tried one. But they are refillable. And that is very important to me. I'm going to draw my loop-de-doops. Just going to draw some loop-de-doops, whatever size and shape I decide I want to do. Some big ones, some small ones. I want to make sure I'm going past my line. But anyway, I want to buy some Copic Fineliners because that way I'll be more sustainable, even though they're going to be really expensive to start. Like, I think it's going to cost me like $100 for one set of all the different sizes. But once I have that set, then it won't cost me almost, it'll be very cheap to buy the ink to just refill, and I won't be throwing away pens all the time because I go through so many of them. Not all of you are going to go through that many, and when I first started, my pens lasted a really long time, but now that I'm drawing like every day, my pens do not last that long. And okay, that's good all the way around. And so I decided, you know, I'm going to just make the investment. It's not something I would normally do because I have avoided it for, what, 4 or 5 years now, whatever, however long I've been drawing on YouTube, and longer than that. I just, the idea of spending, it already is expensive to buy like a set of microns, which is like, what, 10, 12 bucks, depending on if you get them on sale or whatever. That already is like, oh golly, I have to spend that much money on pens. It just breaks my heart. $100 on pens. Geez, that's hard. But I'm feeling very much like I want to do that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and, what's the next step? The next step is to draw the lines in here. So the important thing is to make sure that I'm on this side. Since I drew these past my little border line that I did, I want to make sure that this line that I'm putting in here, inside the arches, is on this side of that line. Like that. I'm just on this side of that line. That way I know for sure that this is going to go out into the white space, or the negative space, because since it's not a white piece of paper, it's not really white space, but you know what I mean. Into the negative space. So yeah, I've been gone a week. Went up to Oregon. Had my niece's wedding. That was awesome. So glad I got to go. I miss her terribly. Miss a lot of the family terribly. We got to see all sorts of people we haven't seen in a long time. And so now in here, just put your oval shapes however you want them, bigs and smalls, whatever suits your fancy. Yeah, that was good. She had a beautiful wedding, lovely friends, and it was delightful. That's all I have to say about that. It was delightful. We drove up part way to San Jose, stayed with my sister-in-law, and it's where my son is living right now. So then he drove the rest of the way from San Jose to Oregon, which was nice. Give my husband a break. And had a couple days with family and then back again. But while I was gone, I had already started the end of August drawing my Inktober drawings, and I have recently found out that there's some sort of controversy brewing with the Inktober. That I don't really understand, and that has really nothing to do with me or any of the other wonderful artists who have participated in Inktober in previous years. And so I'm going to continue to draw. I haven't been using the prompts, the official Inktober prompts anyways, but I have been using the hashtag Inktober, and so because of the controversy that's coming up, and if you guys aren't aware, if you're not following the art community, there has been accusations, and I say that very clearly, it's just accusations, that Jake Parker, who created the Inktober movement, it has a book coming out, and that there's another artist who is claiming that he has used his idea about formatting and page layout, that this other guy says that that's how, you know, he laid out his book, and that this book is like plagiarizing that idea of formatting. I don't quite get it. You know, there's some sort of standards in the way of formatting books, but I'm not in publishing. I don't get it. I don't understand copyright all that well. I understand copyright when it comes to somebody's actual art, but not when it comes to like the layout and formatting of books and magazines. I mean, to me, they all look kind of the same anyways. So how would one know that someone's copying somebody's format? And is that copyrightable? I don't really know. Anywho, in order to kind of steer away from that controversy, I'm going to, from now on to the rest of the month, I am going to use Tangletober instead of Inktober, because that's more of what kind of goes with this art form anyways. And just move on and try to keep my nose out of any kind of controversy. I'm not forming any opinions or making any judgments on Jake and his work, because I've always admired what he has done for the art community by getting everybody together and doing these challenges in October. I think it's awesome. So I don't want to disparage him, because I really don't understand the whole thing. Just don't. So I'm going to just kind of not. So we'll just back off from that. So if you see me talking about or mentioning Inktober in the first 4 or 5 videos, it's because I had no idea that there was a thing. Just didn't know. But now that I know, I'm just going to stay away from it. Okay? Moving on. See, you want to just fill in here, and you're probably wondering what in the world is she doing, because she's not filling in. What I'm doing, because my brush pen is the best one for filling in, however, it's not the best for getting into the little corners, I'm using my thicker pen. This is a number 8. Using my thicker pen, going in here around the edges, and then I'll come back with my brush pen and fill in the middle, and then we'll be done. Don't mind my poor manicure. I know it's pretty ratty. I painted my nails more than a week ago, went to the wedding, and then while we were at my sister-in-law's house, brother and sister-in-law's house, we did some gardening, and I pulled weeds and stuff, and I didn't have gloves on, and so I fully expected my nails to just go. As you guys know, I don't wear nail polish that frequently anyways, because at work they usually chip and break and so forth. So I didn't expect this manicure to last after we did that. I am very surprised that it did. So I'm well impressed. I think I don't know if it's the base coat or the top coat, because the nail polish brand that I used is exactly the same as I used before, that would chip off like within one day. So I don't think it's the cheapo nail polish that I used. I think it's either the base coat or the top coat. It's impressed me. I may color my nails more frequently if it's going to last at least a week, because a day or two just isn't worth bothering. A week is okay. So yeah, the fires are just awful. And today is 9/11, and I made a post this morning on my social media that, 9/11 was, to me, in the United States, one of the worst days ever. It just was. It was a devastating, horrific day. And yet, at the same time as looking back on it from a perspective of history 19 years later, it was also a day of great unity in the United States. We were unified in our grief. We were unified in our anger and determination that the enemy was not going to win. The enemy was not going to come into this country and do this to us, right? Whether we were 100% sure of who the enemy was, we had a united front as to, they can't do this to us. We will survive. We will not be intimidated. We will not be held hostage. We will not be terrorized, right? We had that universal ideal, and I did not find during that period of time right after 9/11, there was not one person that I encountered that had a different opinion on this. We were united. We were the United States of America, and we were proud of being Americans, and we flew the flag, and we rejoiced in our nationality and our unique perspective in the world, and the place that we had worked hard and grown as a nation. We were proud of that. And who would have thought almost 20 years later, 19 years later, that we would be in this place of strife and division and basically at war with each other about race, about ethnicity, about poverty and rich and poor, just all the things that have come up in the last, several months that we would be stuck in lockdown with a virus and we would turn on each other. Who would have thought that? Nobody would have. If I told you back in 2001 that we would be doing this to each other, you'd have said, no way. We are too united. We are too, we have come together as one. You would never have thought. And how things have changed. And, you know, and I said on my post this morning that, you know, we need to go back to that time. Do I still acknowledge that we are having social issues that we need to address? Absolutely. Absolutely. I am not discounting any social issues that we need to address. That's not my point. My point is we need to go back to that feeling we had where we loved one another, where we respected one another, where we valued the lives of all Americans, because we didn't question anybody's, you know, in the Twin Towers, we didn't say, oh, well, those were just rich white people, so they don't matter. You know, we didn't ask what was the ethnicity of the firefighters who rushed forward, the first responders who died or who were gravely ill from all the ash that they consumed. We didn't ask that. It had no bearing on anything. And I would like for that to be the way the world is again, that the color of one's skin, the socioeconomic status doesn't matter, that the humanity matters. Everyone is human. Everyone. We're all in this together. We all need to come together to fight the evils of this world. And I do believe, now I'm not necessarily, you know, you're probably going to call me a conspiracy theorist person. And I don't always believe that. You know, those people who've come up with these weird conspiracy theories don't always subscribe to that. But I do think that when the terrorists could not get to us physically by tearing down the Twin Towers, by you know, trying to throw airplanes into buildings and the Pentagon and all of that. When that didn't work, when they realized that physically attacking us like that was not going to work, I do believe that we are being gaslighted, that we are being socially manipulated through social media, and that we are being brainwashed and manipulated. That's the biggest word, I guess. Gaslighting and brainwashing are pretty much the same. But we are being gaslighted to turn on one another. I do believe that. And I don't think that those who are in charge or trying to get us to turn on one another, I don't think they care what the issue is. I don't think they care about people of color. I don't think they care about whatever the issue might be. Religion, socioeconomic status. I don't think they care. I really don't. I think their hatred for America is all-encompassing. They hate us all the same, no matter who we are. And if they can get us to turn on each other, then they will have won. And that is not right. So what we need to do is, the only way we can combat this is to combat it with love and kindness, and, you know, before lashing out at someone who has said something in social media, think about it and react in compassion instead of with fear or with hate. If we can do that, if we can come back together as a nation in the people that we were on 9/12 and 9/13 instead of 9/11, if we could become those people again and have, because those people, what we were on 9/12, we still had thoughts and feelings about race and poverty and homelessness and economics, but we didn't lash out at each other for that. We just had rational discussion. We weren't angry. We weren't an angry people. We should not be an angry people. I'm sad that we've become angry people. And I'm on a soapbox, and I'm on a soapbox, and if you guys don't want to hear it, well, you can just turn off your volume, or you can fast forward me. That's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm just so sad. I'm just so sad that we have decided that it's okay to be so mean to one another. That it's okay to be cruel. I never thought that Americans were cruel people. That's where I believe terrorists were cruel people. I didn't believe Americans were cruel people. Have we become the terrorists? I mean, really, have we become the terrorists? And how do we stop that? It just makes me sad. It really just does. Okay, so back to drawing. I'm sorry about my rant. I have feelings today. Just do. I have feelings today. There it is. It's actually quite simple. But look at it. And then to make it just really stand out and pop, you do need your shading. Best way to do it is to decide where your light source is going to be. So let's say our light source is going to be over here. So it's going to come this way, right? That didn't look good. Let's do an arrow. Okay, my light source is coming from here. So if the light is coming from here, you're going to get shadow here. You're going to get shadow here because this part will be struck by the light. That part will actually get a little highlight because the light will come right there on this side of every shape. No, not that side. Not that side. Not that side. That side? No. This side. So the light's going to hit here. It's going to hit here. It's going to hit here. It's going to get here. It's coming past that hole and it's hitting right here. So that's where the light's going to hit. And it's going to be the same on all of them, kind of on this side. Right? The light's coming from there. So it's hitting it there. And it's coming this way, so it's kind of hitting it here. And it's coming and it's hitting here. And it's going to hit there and there. Something like that. Okay. Maybe even a little here. Okay, and then the shadows are going to be on the opposite side. So no matter what you do, wherever you put your light source, just do the opposite for the shadows. So I'm going to put a shadow along here and along here. And then I'm going to put a little shadow on this side. Each of these little things. I'm just using a number 2 or a B pencil. Shadow. I missed a highlight. Highlight here and there. And there. Each one gets a little bit of shading. Okay, now for the blendy part. That's what's going to really make it pop. Oops, forgot the shading over here. Just a little bit of pencil. Now I'm going to turn it around so that it's facing me. You just pick a side where you're going to put the shading and pick a side where you're going to put the highlights, and then make them the same on all of them. And that's really all you need to do. Just pick a side. I could have been completely upside down with my lights and my darks. Maybe I absolutely was. I'm not 100% sure. But as long as I'm staying consistent, selected. That one and that one. See how that makes that pop? Gives them that dimension, gives the webbing that sort of 3D look. Okay, it just gives it a little something. And then, even though I've done my highlights with my colored pencil, it's not that bold of a highlight. I'm gonna come back a little bit, get some more of that. But then I think I'm gonna come with my gel pen and really give it like a sparkly kind of a highlight to make it kind of seem like it's an oozy, wet sort of membrane. So I'm going to kind of give it some glisten in spots, not all over. Just kind of little drips. Here and there. Still on the side where I put the white, a little bit further back. You see, I'm not being super like careful with it. Just it gives it a little glow, a little glisten to have that super bright. Like that. There you go. Perfect. Time to put my name on it. Membranart. There we go. I like it. It's glistening and it's weird and it's exactly the way this thing should be. And I went rambling on today, so I'm sorry about that. If you fast forwarded it, that's okay. I appreciate you guys so much. Really, honestly, go out and do something nice for someone today. Let's make the world a better place. Let's get rid of all this negativity that we have surrounding us. Bathe ourselves in a more positive light, and things will get better. I just don't know when, but things will get better. I have it in my head. Things will get better, right? Right. Okay, you guys have a blessed day, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.